if I say that I do grab um, the promotional model or working for a trade show or a car show, and they sometimes think that I can do nude or
Mm,
porn or
mm,
like all the half naked girls equal. We do everything like
all
prostitute.
right.
Hey guys, what's up? So recently I had the chance to talk to this Japanese promotional slash bikini model, and the purpose of this interview was to, as you know, that a lot of women out there at their workplace, regardless if it's an office or a nightclub, go through a lot of sexual harassment or physical harassment or psychological harassment. And I was wondering, like, for people who are in the business of, this promotional modeling or bikini modeling, they are in a position where they have to show their skin, and I was wondering, like, the level of harassment, especially sexual harassment, must be like next level. And that's why today I wanted to interview Coco, who has the experience, and I thought it would be nice to talk to her and get to know about her experiences, and from that what we can learn, especially the young girls who are planning to get into the business, into the industry. What are the things they should be careful about? What are the things they could do before getting into the business? So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's meet her.
Hey, Coco, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate that. Could you just briefly introduce yourself?
Of course, my name is Coco Komatsu. I used to do promotional model back in Japan and US and here in Canada. And I grew up, I was born and grew up in Japan, Tokyo, and I moved to Toronto about 3 years ago. And now I live here.
What got you interested into becoming a promotional model?
So I used to do cheerleading. I used to teach cheerleading and dancing to kids and adults, and I used to be in the team as well.
In
Uh,
Japan?
in Japan, back in Japan. So I perform at the basketball game and stuff like that. And at the game or at the performance, there are some photographers there to take our photos. So I
Okay.
was cheerleader in front of them. And after the performance, they started to talk to me personally. Then they were asking me if I'm interested in working some other photo shoot. I was young at the time, so I'm like, okay, photo shoot. Maybe it's good to have a nice picture for future.
Right. As you mentioned, you were like young at that time. Probably you didn't even know about that world. Were you like little worried, like, oh, these, because, like, of course, there are like professional people out there, but then there are some weirdos as well.
Yeah, so I of course I started to research about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, of course I was worried that there are so many weirdos. I knew it, I heard, and I saw. But when I have a photo shoot, uh, first I try to have a meeting with the photographer first. Check up his and her portfolio, like what kind of picture they take. Do they have any agreement that I can write it down? Because if there's no agreement, um, they will just use my picture wherever.
All right.
Girls need to be careful that there's so many. I don't want to say this word, but creepies.
Mm.
I think it depends on the people. Right now, it's changing
Hmm.
because there's so many fitness models and gyms are pretty trend. Health and wellness is very trend. So there's so many girls try to not show off, but show their body on Instagram on a healthy way. So I
Hmm.
think it's changing, but back then I started about like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So back then it was pretty negative thing that if I say that I do grab um, the promotional model or working for a trade show or a car show, and they sometimes think that I can do nude or porn or
Mm-hmm.
like all the half naked girls equal. We do everything like
All
prostitute.
right.
It's very thin line, and I tried to separate from those world, but still people just judge you just because you're wearing half naked or like bikinis or less clothes. But think about
Mm-hmm.
it, cheerleaders are wearing less clothes as well, but they don't get judged like that way.
What about your parents' reaction or your friends, like when you told them, "Oh, I want to do this"?
My parents, of course, my parents are not really strict.
Hmm.
Pretty supportive. Like they say whatever I want to do, just go for it. But of course, I started to talk about it to my parents first because I'm pretty sure um, everybody is gonna search yourself or kids on the internet right now. So before they started to see my picture, I talked to my parents. But my friends they just see me on the internet randomly, or they just see me by magazine or my promotion, right? They were surprised and they asked me, like, what are you doing?
So when you decided to be in the industry, like what was it like? What were you expecting? And then things were like little different. Like you were, oh, I thought it's gonna be like this, but
If you work with the agency, you will secure. So you will have no problem, or you will have no like shocking thing, because
mm-hmm.
you have a manager or you have an agency to secure you. But if you're working as a freelance model, you will encounter a lot of dangerous situations, or like some people are gonna talk to you like, "Are you into movies?" And the movie was inappropriate movies
Mm-hmm.
like that. A lot of young girls, they don't have a lot of knowledge about industry. If somebody talks to you about money or contract or whatever, they don't really know about it and they just say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's over. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to be careful.
Was there a lot of harassment for you, like when you were in the business?
Yes. But back in Japan, I had so many harassment. Now I can laugh about it, but at the time I was so scared and I couldn't tell about it to anybody. Of course, I couldn't tell to my parents.
Because of this job that you were doing, was it hard for you to date someone? Was there a time like you were on a date or something, and then finally you told this guy like, oh, after getting, and the reaction was like, what or something? Was it like disappointing?
They were disappointed because they thought that I was pretty casual. Some guys left because they thought that they could play with me.
But let's suppose you move back to Japan and you get married and you have a daughter. Do you think you will encourage her or let her go in this industry if she wants to?
I will talk to her first because
Okay.
it's her life. So I do not want to stop her what she's doing and what she wants to do.
Mhm.
But if she is in a dangerous situation
Mm.
or not clear way to go, then I would give some advice to her.
I'm sorry guys for the abrupt ending. There was some audio issue and the internet was not working well, so and the video quality video suddenly got stopped and I don't know what happened, but I really apologize for that. But anyways, with Coco I was able to talk a lot of things. One thing, if you realize, like my last question when I asked her like, would you let your daughter, if you have one, to be a part of this industry, and she actually was not totally against it. She said like if she want to do it, I would let her do, which shows that this industry is not full of only predators and terrible creeps and weirdos. There are some good and very professional people there as well. Like Coco mentioned that her first photo shoot that she had with a guy he was very professional, and that's where she got her confidence to continue doing bikini or promotional modeling. One thing that I learned and that concerns me the most when Coco mentioned that when she went through some kind of that harassment, it was very hard for her to talk to somebody, especially with her parents, because she was young and she was scared. She did not know what to do. And I know like a lot of young people go through that. I remember that when I was little and I got through some kind of bullying, it was very hard for me to tell my parents because I was kind of scared. And I think that's where predators, they take the opportunity to control you, because they know like, oh, this person is young, scared, and they can't do anything, and that's where they do whatever they want to do. And I personally hope, like, if you're young and whenever in the future you get married, or if you are a parent watching this video, I hope like we're as a parent, or we could have this kind of trust and communication with our kids, that they're able to talk to us about anything that they want to. And I know it's very hard, especially in this time when people are just busy in their phone, and it's very hard to communicate having this eye contact. Parents and kids are having this gap, but I really hope where parents and kids have this trust where they know that I can talk to my mom or dad with any kind of issue. And I think if that happens, it can solve a lot of issues, and especially it will not give power to these predators. But anyways, let me know what about you guys, what you've learned from this video. Please do let me know your comments in the comment section below, and please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, smile.